Additional light installation with XBB relay. This instruction is suitable for all lights under 180 watts. This same video also shows the traditional installation of an auxiliary light, as called license plate installation, and not just the wiring installation. So first we took off the license plate and screwed the additional light in place, and then we put the light with bolts to the rack. And once the light is in place, the beam alignment should be done after wiring installation. So insert the XBB dongle into the OPD port. Often that port can be found somewhere in that driver's footwell. In this connection, we use a traditional wiring harness with the same connector as our extra light has. In addition, we make a small modification to this wiring harness so that we also get the additional light parking light to work. This does not need to be done if you do not want to use the parking light to in the additional light. The first thing we did was cut the ends of the ring terminals of the power wires open. The next step is to remove the original relay from that relay bracket and open the relay bracket insulation to access those wires underneath. Then we move that blue wire into place in that relay bracket, so it is moved from that side to the middle. This blue wire is normally the excitation wire for the auxiliary light, but now it works as a current to the parking light. If you did the previous step, it's a good idea to protect the wires of the position with electrical tape at the end. Next, take that XBB power unit relay and place it on that relay socket in place of the original relay. Next, you can start making the connections, and the first step is to bring the power cable for the auxiliary light to the inside of the engine compartment. In our case, we had to remove the mask from the car and then found a suitable slot behind it to bring the power cable to the engine compartment. Then just put the mask back on, and here you can see that cable grommet. Then locate the power and grounding of the car. Remember to disconnect the fuse from that wiring harness as well. And after this, you can connect the power and ground wire in place. And here you'll see why the ends of those ring terminals were cut open, because you don't have to open the whole bolt to connect them. The next step is to connect the auxiliary light to the wiring harness and put the fuse back in that fuse box. And this is point you turn the power onto the car. Then you download from the App Store an app like XBB Configurator. And once you've downloaded it, you open it up and hit search for XBB device. When you find it, you click on it, and then you can select the recipe for that dongle. Select the make and model of the car. In this case, we had a Volkswagen Golf to be installed, so naturally we chose it. Here below the Golf you can still find, among other things, year and body model options, of which we then chose the right one. After this, the application downloads and installs the selected recipe to the dongle, and then opens a view where you can see all the channels that the XBB dongle is able to read from there through the OPD port of the car. And then you go to the relay side and press the settings button, and then from there you can select the output option. Output 1 controls the auxiliary light itself, and output 2 controls the parking light for the auxiliary light output. Use high beam signal, and output 2 use ignition signal. And so the auxiliary light turns on when the car's own high beam is on, and the parking light turns on when the car's ignition is on. Once these settings have been set up, we will check the functionality of all these connections. And after that, we can finalize the parking light installation. This auxiliary light has a 2-color parking light, which we wanted to light up orange, so we connected the yellow wire from the auxiliary light and the blue wire from the harness to each other with that kind of tube connector and put a shrink sleeve over the connection. Now we have reached the final stage when all the connections have been made, so the next step is to clean up the wiring harness and the connections. Finally, we still attach the license plate back in place. And here you can see a little bit of this installation of the end result. Thank you very much for watching the video. Leave a like if you think this type of videos are useful.